This video, we're going to look at synthetic polymers. Synthetic polymers are man-made polymers. So the significant difference between natural and synthetic polymers is obviously natural polymers are going to occur in nature and be created by plants and animals and those sorts of things. They're typically created using enzymes, adding pieces together. But synthetic polymers are going to be mostly manufactured in various ways, but typically it's going to be in an industrial process. One of the polymers that we're going to study, and there are two synthetic kinds of polymers that we're going to look at, are polyesters. Now, polyesters are a kind of almost a fiber typically when they're produced. So polyesters often can come out as a thread, and they can make fabric out of the thread that's formed. And polyesters are going to use ester linkages on two ends. So in the previous video, I'd said that you end up getting these links in a chain. Well, each of these linkages needs to be able to continue, and so we are going to link at two ends of the chain, and that's required. So the way that they do that with polyesters is there are basically two organizations, because every one of these links is going to be an ester linkage. So this is a condensation polymer. We can either use diols and dicarboxylic acids. So I'd have something that's going to be bonded to two carboxylic acids. So that's a dicarboxylic acid, and I wouldn't expect you to name it. And then react that with a diol. So like this. So what happens is you can make a linkage here and a linkage here, and you can make a linkage here and a linkage here. And so I'm going to end up getting a repeating unit that has got a C double bond O, CH, there should be CH2, C double bond O, O, and then I get that ester linkage, CH2, and then O, and that's where my next ester linkage is. And so you get this kind of repeating sequence where I get one of these, an oxygen, and then this, and then it just kind of links like that. So if we look here, you can see that this has got this in it and this, right? And that the next thing that would have attached here is going to be an oxygen that's like this, and the thing that would attach here is going to be a carbon that's like this. So when we are looking at this, it's not uncommon to see something like this, where they've got square brackets and showing this is where the repetition occurs. And this could go on sort of indefinitely. And so that's if I had a diol and a dicarboxylic acid. Another arrangement would be, instead of having a diol and a dicarboxylic acid, I could have one sort of thing that's a carboxylic acid on one end, and then an alcohol on the other end. And so what's going to happen is that this end is going to bond to the hydroxyl on another one, and this hydroxyl end down here is going to bond to the carboxylic acid end over here. And so this portion here, sorry, this is going to, this hydroxyl and hydrogen condense out to make a water. And what I'm going to get is an HOC double bond O, CH2, CH2O, and then it's going to repeat C double bond O, CH2, CH2O, C double bond O, CH2, CH2, O, and etc., right? And it'll keep doing that as long as I keep giving it monomers to react with. Once there are no monomers to react with, it's going to react with something in the air, maybe like on, it'll either stop the reaction entirely, or it'll react with something on the end like an oxygen, water, or an oxygen or something from the air, and it's going to stop the reaction polymer. So the two kinds of polyesters would either use a diol and a dicarboxylic acid, and so you're going to get two different monomers that are going to keep linking together in a sequence, or you can get one monomer that's got a carboxylic acid end and an alcohol end, a hydroxyl, and it's just going to keep repeating that single unit over and over again. So that's polyesters, and they typically make fibers. And what you want to be able to do is spot the polymer. Um, if this reacted, what would the repeating units be?